Hi, everybody. Dan Illman here, taking a look at the Stronach 5 wager for Friday, August the 9th. I'll give you some horses that I'm going to consider using in the Stronach 5. Use them, throw them out, do what you will with them. But these are some horses that I think are worth consideration in this week's Stronach 5. And we'll kick things off with the first leg, race number 8 at Laurel Park. It is at 6 furlongs. It is a conditioned claimer. $5,000 the claiming price. Non-winners of 2 life, the condition. The number 6, Quit Your Moanin', is a very logical runner in this race, simply because his Beyers speed figures seem to stand out over his competition. Beyers of 52, 59, 53, 57, 62 in his last several races. Any one of those races would make him very tough in this spot. My main concern with Quit Your Moanin' is I'm just not a big fan of this horse. He was claimed for $8,000 2 starts back. They immediately dropped him in for $5,000. He was the odds-on favorite. And yes, he ran into a runaway winner, but he was flailing away on his left lead, drifting out in the stretch. Quit Your Moanin' is a solid horse, and if it just comes down to who's the fastest horse in the race, you have to use this horse. I will use this horse, but I like one horse a little bit better, and I'll use that horse in equal weight, and that is the number 2, Lights On. Lights On made his most recent start at Laurel in his first race off a 3.5-month layoff. He showed big speed that day, dueled another horse into the ground through what I thought was a solid pace, and he was still in kicking with about 1/8 of a mile to go before the field eventually swamped him. I thought that race went to closers. I thought Lights On had a very difficult pace scenario. If you look at the Timeform US pace projector for this race, it is color-coded blue. Lights On, with an aggressive ride out of the gate, I believe can make the lead. And in his second start of the form cycle, at a very nice price, he is 10-1 on the morning line. I think he's a horse you definitely should consider in the Stronach 5. So for right now, my A's are the 2, Lights On, the 6, Quit Your Moanin'. We move down to Gulfstream Park for the second leg of this wager, race number 7 at Gulfstream, 5 furlongs on the turf. It is an optional claiming race, $25,000 the claiming price. Non-winners of 1 other than are the condition. The 2 horses I want to use as A's, and when I mention A's, B's, and C's, that is the DRF ticket maker application that you can find on DRF.com, DRF Bets. You can weigh your opinions, and that way hopefully save a little bit more money than if you were playing a caveman ticket, lumping your top opinions, or A's, with your weaker opinions, your C's. My 2 top opinions in this race from an A point of view: the 3 Sarasota counties trying turf for the first time. Whenever I see the sire Cantharos in a pedigree, I am thinking turf, and I am thinking sprint. And this is a 5 furlong race. Sarasota County's first 2 races were scheduled for turf. They both were washed off and ended up on the main track. And he ran well in both of those races. So well that his connections decided to keep him on the dirt, where he won his 3rd lifetime start. After his most recent race, a solid enough 3rd place finish, he is going to try the grass. And I think this is what Sarasota County has been waiting for his whole career. He has big early speed and a lot of upside potential. This is only going to be his 6th lifetime start. He is 6-1 in the morning line, and I'm going to use him with a veteran. Sleeping Giant, the number 6, is also 6-1 on the morning line. This horse likes to win races or be right there at the wire. 12 of 19 in the exacta. He is won 3 out of his last 4 races. Yes, he's taking a big step up from a $10,000 claimer to a $25,000 claimer. But the price is going to be right, because he was claimed off Gilberto Zerpa, who wins at a high rate, by a trainer that does not win at a high rate. Sleeping Giant, if he can just run back to his last race, and it's only been 12 days since his last race, he's going to be tough from close to the pace. I want 1 backup. You may decide whether it's a B or a C, and that is the 2, Cash Call Kitten, who was a stakes winner as a 3-year-old at Gulfstream, going 7.5 furlongs, got back to his winning ways last time out, at that distance, was claimed by trainer Joe Orsino, and interestingly enough is now cutting all the way back to 5 furlongs. I usually do not like strong cutbacks in turf sprints, but this horse got a very nice trip last time out, saved ground, shot up the rail, was a game winner, and he just seems like he's in form. Remember, this horse missed over a year at one point due to injury. He's feeling good right now. If this pace melts, Cash Call Kitten might be the one to pick up the pieces. So my A's are the 3 and the 6. My backup, let's call it a B, the 2, Cash Call Kitten. Back to Laurel for the third leg, race number 9, 1 mile on the turf. I have 2 A's and 2 Bs. Let's start things off with the 6, Frontline Page. Frontline Page, we'll go back to his race 2 starts back. He is a one-run closer. He was inside at the back of the pack early, swung very wide into the lane, and he ran a good second that day, and that's what he's been doing recently, nibbling. He's the kind of horse that needs a little bit of pace. I think he's going to get it. He fits well from a speed figure and class standpoint. Frontline Page will be running late, but the horse that I'm really interested in is the number 7, right next door. That's Electro. I think a lot of folks are going to discount Electro because he is taking a step up in class. His most recent win was for a $14,000 tag, but it was against beaten claimers, basically non-winners of 3 life horses. Now he's running against Open Company. I think a lot of folks are going to look at that and say it's a little bit too steep for Electro. I don't think it is. He overcame a slow pace last time out. Look at those fractions, 25-2, 50-1. He was hanging out near the back of the pack. The key to this horse is for his jockey to get him to relax early. He likes to pull. Last time out, Horatio Caramanos got him in between horses. When he started to pull, he got him to the outside. He made a long 4-wide bid on the backstretch, 3 wide on the turn, and he kept grinding away. There's a new jockey on, and it's up to this jockey to get this horse to settle just a little bit early. If he does, I think Electro at a price is good enough to win this race. Those are my 2 A's, the 6 and the 7. My backups are the 3 and the 4. Kid Jeters won 2 out of his last 3 races. He looked beat at the quarter pole last time out, but the pace was fast enough that he was able to get up in the shadow of the wire. His buyer speed figures are going the right way. Listen, this horse was 1 for 29 before his last 3 races, and now all of a sudden he's a win machine. I don't want to discount him. Air Bueno is 10 years old. He's been in the exacta 30 of 67. He looked like he was in trouble last time out at Suffolk Downs, but he rallied to win that race, and he was competitive against Open Claimers at Laurel 2 starts back. He's a horse that can show tactical speed if the pace is moderate, and I'd use him based on his back class as a backup. 6 and 7 A's for me, 3 and 4 B's. We move to race number 8. We're going 6.5 furlongs. I'm only considering 2 horses in this race. I would use them both as A's. The one is Little Be Quick. Little Be Quick last time out caught a speed favoring track at Gulfstream, never got close to the lead, ended up wide at the quarter pole. I didn't like the fact that he failed to change leads in the stretch, but I think he can be more aggressively ridden this time around. And if he does, he can be on or near the pace, and I think that would make him very dangerous in this race. Look for Lil Be Quick to be aggressively ridden out of the gate. If it's not him, I think it's going to be Purple Girl, the 5. A lot of angles here. Turf to dirt, blinkers on, second off the claim, throw out the turf race. Looks like he can't stand up on that surface. His race 2 starts back was okay, where he caught a runaway winner. He ended up 3 wide on the turn. He was just no match for the favorite. I think Purple Girl fits really well from a fig standpoint, and with the blinkers on, might be more aggressive. I think it's one of those 2 in race number 8 at Gulfstream. We conclude the sequence with race number 9 at Gulfstream, a 2-turn, about 7.5 furlong maiden claiming event. I'm only using 2 horses in this race. Here's the 5, Arbolada, another son of Cantharos, trying turf for the first time. I wish there was a little bit more turf on the bottom of this pedigree, but this is a very high percentage barn, reaching out to leading rider Emiziel Jaramillo. This horse did no running on dirt in his debut, despite being bet down to favoritism. The blinkers go on. I think they're just going to send this horse and try to make the front, because let's be honest, this is a very hungry race from a form standpoint. If Arbolada simply can't run, I'm also going to use the 2, Big Annie. Big Annie worked out a decent enough trip last time out. He finished 3rd. He kind of, I think, has reached his peak, but he's also run a buyer close to the par, a 50 in his career debut, 4 starts back. It looks like this horse is getting good. It's slow profile connection, so the price has to be right. I think he drifts up from 9 to 2. If you want to use Big Annie as a B, fine. I'm not sure I completely trust Arbolada, so I'm using the 5 Arbolada, the 2 Big Annie. They are my A's in the final leg of Friday's Stronach 5, and it starts with race number 8 at Laurel Park. Best of luck.